Hey guys, this is Jess from Curse, and we're here in Los Angeles for the LCS World Championship final match. And right here, I've got our very own Voyboy to answer a few questions for us. So, even though you guys aren't playing in the final match, it's still pretty awesome that you're a pro League of Legends player, like you're living the dream. So, who would you say, what player or team has helped you out the most in your path to becoming a pro player?
What player has helped me the most in becoming a pro player? Well, the funny thing is, like, when I first became a pro, there was not really like any precedent. There wasn't really a set path to becoming a pro. I just kind of played League. I joined a team. We got picked up by sponsors so we could go to LANs and stuff. And now it's like this whole thing. I mean, the two best teams in the world are going to be playing at Staples Center. So it's pretty incredible to see how far the League of Legends scene has grown since I first became like quote unquote pro. But I would honestly say just like my teammates. When I was on Dignitas, everyone there. When I was on CLG, now I'm on Curse. Like, my teammates always inspire me to just continue to better myself, continue to stay competitive, and just keep striving to be the best. So I always look towards the people around me to help make myself improve.
Now, on your way through LCS, which team posed the least challenge? Which team was it easiest for you guys to just kind of steamroll?
During our course of LCS, I mean, obviously every team that makes it to the LCS is really good. They play their top 8 in a LCS, but I would say like for the first split, generally when we played versus like Team Marn, we had a really pretty comfortable time beating them. And then this split, I think Velocity was probably the least challenging, but they were obviously good players as well. So yeah.
Is there a team out there that you would say is the most overrated, or is there a team that's particularly underrated, doesn't really get as much attention as they deserve?
I would say before coming into Worlds, obviously, MVP Ozone was obviously really overrated. I think there was a lot of their performance was due to like the game being on like a good patch that favored their players, and then when we saw them come to Worlds, different patch, different situations, playing against players that they really didn't really study enough, you kind of saw their flaws. So it's very easy, I think, to judge a team based on like a quick blip of performance and then say like, oh, these are like the best players in the world. But when you have teams that just consistently play well over the course of many years and continue to like make it to world championships, like for example, you gotta give credit to TSM. Players like that, they generally do well. I mean, SKT right now, I would probably say is definitely like looking like the strongest team in the world, and justly so. Like they've been performing amazingly, and they may win the world championships. But just like we saw TPA win last year, if you can't adapt to the meta, you can't continue to evolve your play style and grow as players, then you'll quickly just start to fall off. So hopefully the top teams right now just can continue to stay at the top, and hopefully we can make it back up there.
It's kind of unfortunate that no North American teams made it this far, but speaking of just the North American League, in your opinion, who's the best player?
The best player in North America? Oh, that's such a tough question.
Okay, well then who's the worst player?
The worst player? I'll say actually, I think for this past season, I think Mandatory Cloud really stepped it up. I think he really put a lot of weight on his shoulders. He played phenomenally throughout pretty much the whole season. Even in like their group stage matches at Worlds, he played amazingly. So as a mid laner, when I look at him, I'm just like, he has so much impact on the game. Teams really respect him and fear him, and that's generally like something that I really like to look up to. So he's great. Within
Team Curse, who do you think has the most room for improvement?
The most room for improvement, honestly, I would say when I look at like my teammates, I try not to judge them based on like, oh, like you're underperforming, like this and that. I try to be like as mellow as possible. I'll look at stuff objectively. I'll be like, okay, well, what would I have done there? What's the right decision? If they're doing something wrong or someone's making mistakes consistently, then I'll try to talk to them and just try to give advice and sort of be like, just like not like in a really friendly way, but just like not in like a condescending way, just so that people don't take the advice in the wrong way, so people overall on the team can grow. And I would honestly say like everyone's been stepping up. I think obviously this last season we had a really tough time, so we'll see. I'm not really sure how the team's going to end out, but hopefully it'll be good.
All right, well then my final question is, we're going to play a little game of Marry, Forget. Thinking of all Pro League players, who would you marry, who would you and who would you say, yeah, just forget you, we're no longer friends?
Okay. Um, let me see. I'd probably marry Tabe. Just from like I think everyone's just been in love with him the past few weeks, his interviews and stuff. He just seems like a really honest and open guy, and just like as someone who didn't really know his personality that well, like I played with him before when he played on NA server and stuff like that, and he just seems like a really great guy. So definitely
Better put a ring on it before someone else does.
Exactly. And then the second one, I had no idea.
Second one.
And then forget. Was that the last one? Let me see. I forget. Probably Cutie Pie. Sometimes I just like wake up and it's like in a dream and I just like see his face like flash inside my head. I'm like, and then I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, it was just a dream, and I'm all good. But yeah, no, I love Cutie. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Once again, this is Jess from Curse. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the game.